Welcome back again to Hopeful Stories. And as you all know, we are here on Hopeful Stories with hopeful, inspiring content, counseling, and therapy. Today, I'm joined with a lovely guest. Her name is Loid Ndemueda. And I hope I got that right.
You did.
Loid Ndemueda.
Yeah.
She is an activist for gender-based violence. She's also a model, and she also is one person that survived a band accident. Is that correct?
It is correct.
Life was full of trials, a journey full of experience. With God on your side, all will be alright.
Okay, Lloyd, how did it all happen?
Well, it was on the 13th of July 2010, and it was second term. It was just after FIFA World Cup. Everybody was excited, and this man deliberately set me and 16 other children on fire. He trapped us between the electric fence and dry grass, and this was all a political and economical matter. However, I survived. As a result, I went through a lot of reconstructive surgeries, and my whole body is covered with scars. And out of the 17 kids, 10 children were killed, including my little sister, and 7 survived. Yeah.
Wow. So was it all intentional?
Yes, it was intentional.
Were you part of any activities though that led you to be trapped in this hole?
No, we were not part of any activity. It was after school. After school kids they're always together. And in our community, usually we have what we call control fires. So in the community, we thought that was a control fire, but then there was not actually firefighters.
Right.
Yes.
So take me back to when you were 13. This is how many years ago?
It's been 12. Yeah, 12
years.
years. Yeah.
So how did that incident change your life? How has it been since then?
It has been a journey. It's a process of having to discover myself, accept myself, and navigate through communities, because as a different person in communities, you get bullied, you get discriminated, and prejudice is happening all the time. So however, I actually just had to allow God to take control of my life in order for me to not find comfort in suicide, because suicide is one thing that has been trying to get me off my life.
So what are the triggers that come with it in regards to fueling the suicide thoughts?
So I look at myself in a mirror and I see this different child, I mean, I was born normal. I was not born with disfigurement of hands and one leg shorter. So when I look at myself in the mirror and I'm alone and I think of everything, I just start crying and saying, what's the point of living? Or if I walk on the street and people start laughing at me and saying, oh my God, look at her hands. She looked like a monster. She's a chicken dust. And I get home and I'm just like, you know what? There's no point of living.
Are you telling me that there's people who actually verbally say that?
Trust me, I just realized that not everybody is well informed when it comes to differently looking people. So that's why I'm trying to educate people that, you know what, even if someone looks different, they are still human beings. And my identity is actually identified by God. He knew this was going to happen to me. So people should accept everyone. But then I had to learn to accept myself in order to allow society to accept me.
And in regards to, just take me back to when you were 13.
Mm-hmm.
How long did the recovery process take?
I'm still recovering. So I got burned at the age of 13, and I went to Bila Hospital in Mombath in Limpopo. Then I was transferred to Mankweng, which it happened in July on the 13th. So I stayed in hospital until December. So they had to release me for Christmas gathering with the family. But when I was discharged, I was not fully recovered. I was still having a lot of bandages and cold wounds, So from there, I just started having to go for checkups and dressings and looking for surgeries, that because my hands were badly disfigured, they were constructed and I needed a lot of surgery to happen. However, since 2011, 12, I did not get surgery because at Garangwa there was no professor who was able to do reconstructives and web surgeries on my hands. So I stayed at home for almost 3 years without formal education. So since grade 8, since I was 13, I didn't go to school until 2013 because of operations and the recovery stage, because I was also on a wheelchair. I couldn't walk at all.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how was it trying to fit in when you went to the education system? Did you go like to a public school, or you were private schooled at home?
So I had to move to Johannesburg for medical reasons. At Helen Joseph, there was a doctor who operated on me, on my hands, and at Barra. So as I was in Johannesburg, obviously the years are going past and I was growing. So some people who were actually servants of God said to me, you need to go back to school regardless of how many surgeries you're having because time is running out. And I was admitted to a very, very prestigious school, expensive, but top 5 in Gauteng at Greenside High School. I'm really, really grateful until now. So first time I went there, I cried because that school, it's full of beautiful people, and then here I am with bandages and crutches, and I'm like, God, what the hell is this? You know? But I told myself that I don't have to fit in. If I have to be isolated, it's okay as long as I get education. However, God has already allocated people who were there to care for me. I really made good friends. I didn't have to try hard to fit in. Though there were those people who give me funny looks and who laugh, I had just had to appreciate those who were there for me and not focus on negativity, because we're not interested in giving negativity attention, because it will end up killing us.
Wow.
It's not worth it.
You are so inspirational. Like, I can imagine at 16 you are there navigating all those thoughts that could be really damaging. Let's talk about losing your sister. How did you deal with it?
My little sister was kind of my best friend, because she was very intelligent. She would guide me as much as she was young. She was 9 years old, and after the fire, I only saw her once in Mangweng. She was in Ben's units. She was admitted at Ben's units. I was at female surgical ward. So my physiotherapist decided to take me to go and see my little sister as if they anticipated her death. So when I went there, she was okay. But she was really hurt. She was hurt. When I saw her, I got very emotional, and she was telling me, I'm healed, I'm getting surgery soon, and we can go home. And that was the last time I saw her, probably around August, since we got into admissions. And I didn't know that she had passed away until 2011, July. So my parents had to keep it away from me, and the hospital also tried to make sure that I don't find out that she passed away, because I was still in a critical condition. It was going to affect me. So this other time in July, my parents had to go for prayers or something to remember the kids who passed away, and there was just no other way they could tell me or hide it from me. So they had been telling me that my little sister is in Cape Town having surgery, and then she'll be transferred in Pretoria, then I'll be able to see her. So she bathed me, and my mom bathed me, and she was like, I need to tell you something very important, but you need to trust God. And I was like, what's happening? She's like, every child that you don't see right now, they all passed away, including your little sister. She was the last one to die. She died in September, just before and after her birthday. She birthdays on the 8th of September. I birthday on the 9th of September.
Wow.
And I was like, what are you saying? Like, then I kept counting every 10 people, but I was getting to this 10 amount, but I was excluding my little sister. Like, no, there is no way she passed away. She's like, no, she did pass away. So I just had to take a deep breath and ask God. I really questioned God, like, why didn't you take me? But now that I've been healing, I actually told myself that, you know what, I'm actually grateful that my little sister is in a peaceful place. There's no one who's mocking and discriminating against her, because I don't know how she could have handled discrimination and bullying.
So to date, in 2022, do you still visibly see people bullying you or giving you the eye and verbally talking?
Yes.
What was your last incident? Can we talk
My
about
last incident was actually in town, CBD. I was walking, and this guy, I don't know if he's a Q Marshal or whoever he was, so he kept saying chicken dust, and I thought maybe he's talking about the normal chicken dust. And I kept walking, and he was following me, and he even touched me saying, hey, chicken dust, nkuluma now. And I'm like, oh, okay, sorry, why are you calling me chicken dust? And then he started laughing, and I just walked away and said, you know what, may God forgive you, because you don't know what you're talking about. And now I'm used to it, and I use it to my advantage to actually empower myself, because people actually love chicken dust. It smells nice and it's attractive. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna allow this to happen, but I'll take it as a motivation to myself. So I allow my family to mock and laugh at me, laugh at my hands, so that when I go out there, it becomes a habit, and it doesn't affect me as much anymore.
So that's your coping mechanism.
Yes.
You're accepting the journey.
Yes.
Did you ever struggle with accepting that this is the new life, this is what you will do?
I think I did struggle. It's just that I think because I was younger, it didn't really click in much, you know. But coming into a big city, I really struggled to accept myself, because, you know, every single time you meet a new person, you meet new groups, you always have to explain yourself. But then I really just allowed God to navigate my life, because if I navigate my own life, then I'll end up trying too hard to be accepted by people. But I had to learn, you know what, this is me, this is the new me. But for that to happen, I had to forgive the perpetrator. I had to forgive him and forgive myself. I had to pray for this man to be a better man, so that he doesn't hurt any other person. For this incident or gender-based violence to stop with me and my little sister. So when I forgave him, I released so much anger, because when I had a grudge against him, it was affecting me. I couldn't accept who I am, because I was blaming this man for my life. I was playing the blame game, which was not helpful. So I had to forgive him in order for me to have the acceptancy strategy into my own hands.
Yeah. Wow. That's mind blowing. Talking about forgiveness. I know when you say it now, it sounds so easy.
Yeah.
It sounds easy. It sounds like I just forgave.
Yeah, and moved on.
Let's zone into that. Let's talk about that. Let's start from where your bitterness was brewing, how it was making you feel, and the aftermath of you forgiving.
So this man, like, he changed my life, like, completely. Looking at myself with scars, I'm like, I wouldn't be this person if it wasn't this man. I was so angry. Like, the way I was agitated, I will cry myself to sleep. But then he's not even there for me to hit him or to make him feel bad. I don't know what's going on in his life. So I went on my knees and I prayed, because I have a spiritual mother. Like, my mom is very spiritual. She prays a lot. She's the person who's always calming me down. So she'll be like, you know what, you have to pray. This man has completed his mission. There is nothing you can do about it. So I had to pray a lot. Go to scriptures and understand exactly why this happened to me. But then I asked myself, why not me? Who should go through such things? And I was like, if Jesus could actually forgive those people who crucified him, who am I?
Amen.
Because Jesus has already won the battle. He's won the war. Now, why should I put myself through so much as if I'm the one who hurt myself? So when I had this agitation, I had anger and bitterness and agony that was leading me to my grave instead of healing. So I realized that the only way to move on is to gradually forgive this man by going on my knees and asking God, please do forgive him, because he didn't know what he was doing. Because the evil spirit is so strong that it has recruited a lot of humans to destroy one another. And I would like to pray for peace of mind and to take away this grudge in order for me to be myself again, to be that little girl who knew that God is the creator of heaven and earth, and he is the one who knew my identity before I was even born. Yes.
Wow. That's ecstatic.
I had to.
You had to.
I had to.
Okay, so what would you say to other fellow people who are probably in your position? Maybe somebody is also undergoing surgery. What would you say to them in order to accept their condition, in order to, navigate, like the tricks? What would you say to them?
I would say, normally I say to people that, okay, I get bullied because my scars are physical, and some people are going through emotional scars, which are not sin. So my mechanism that I would like to share with people is just ask yourself why you're existing. Why did you survive the certain, whatever is rape or abuse? The moment you survive, the moment you're a survivor, it means there is a purpose, creativity attached to your name. So go for that. Navigate through your life seeking for your purpose, regardless of how you look, because God has defined you and structured you into a manner that your character and your soul can withstand the pain. And without that pain, you wouldn't know who God is. The way I speak of God right now, I don't think I would have been able to speak about God if this incident had not happened. So everything happens for a reason. Just navigate through life knowing that God has formed you and has brought that situation into your life so that you can heal others, because there's so many people attached to your healing. So if you're not healed and you take your life away, you have killed many lives that are attached to your name and your situation. So just find healing. Healing is a process. It will take a lot of obstacles, and many people will discourage you. There's so many voices that are going to convince you that there is no healing, Jesus is not there. But God does have a combative strategy to combat that voice, so that you know there is healing, and it doesn't have a price tag. That healing is for free.
Wow. You all had it from the horse's mouth, and it's so inspiring. Well, you are young, Loid. Let's talk about how you're navigating the dating pools. I know it's a bit personal.
I know.
There's a lot of people who are watching who are thinking, okay, so what happens?
So I've always been the obedient child who believes that, you have to wait until you're old enough. And looking at me, a lot of guys, when they see me, they're like, she's beautiful, but only if she was not burned, And I told myself, you know what, God, I don't want a boyfriend, because I'll have to fit in, I'm not beautiful enough or whatsoever. But again, God has sent a very handsome man into my life, and he's accepted me the way I am, and my family loves him, and I really appreciate you, okay? And I don't have to explain myself or to feel less beautiful. I actually always show up as the best version of who I am, because he believes in me. He saw beyond my face. Wow. To see the best in me.
The best in you.
Yes.
Okay, you heard it for yourselves, hopeful stories. So there is not anything that God cannot do. He heals the brokenhearted. He also gives the will and the ability for you to navigate through this, the turmoils, through lives, through also certain things that you seem cannot to be able to comprehend. There's just a lot that God can do. I hope from this story you guys have been inspired, and I hope you guys have been blessed. Please say greet our hopeful stories people.
Hi guys, hi hopeful stories. Look, there is no situation that has the power to stop you from accomplishing your dreams. It doesn't matter how many fingers you have or how you look. When you look up to God and allow Him to give you the strength and the courage to heal, when the world confronts you with negative stones, you will always hit back as a positive rock.
Thank you so much. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Hope you've been blessed.
Thank you.
Bye.
Life is full of trials, a journey full of experience. With God on your side, all will be whole.